So good morning all, welcome to the morning after show, the morning after the night before. Newcastle United 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1. Now, I'm mixed feelings about this game. Obviously, I predicted 1-0. I did a quick little video, which I'm going to start doing more now of just looking at the Newcastle lineup before kickoff. I predicted 1-1. Obviously, the last few games between the two teams has ended 1-0. If you'd have given right there and then, regardless of lineups, regardless of form, well, actually, encompassing all of that, if you'd have said to me right then and there, Brighton have lost, Burnley are going to lose, Fulham are going to draw, and you're going to draw, do you know what? I would have taken that. Obviously, ideally, Palace would have beaten Fulham. I watched the second half of that game. Because this is obviously Monday morning, because I couldn't do yesterday morning, but yeah, I watched the second half of that game yesterday, and Jesus, Palace are toothless. They remind me a bit of us Benteke, my God. Anyway, but yeah, if you had said to me before the game, Newcastle are going to come out of this 1-0, I think I would have snapped your hand off, because I know they haven't been the team they were last season, but I really, really, really rate Wolves. You know, you take out their two best players, i.e. Jota being sold to Liverpool and Jimenez getting his head fucking knocked off. You know, any team's going to struggle, because they weren't just their two best players, they're the fulcrum of the team. You know, Jimenez is the target man, he's the main goal scorer, Jota was the bit of magic. You know, they've somewhat struggled this year. However, their form going into the game wasn't too bad. And the point is, I really, really rate Wolves. I think that they're a team that we should be aspiring to sort of copy their blueprint, if you will. Or they've had a lot of money pumped in. But I really like Wolves. I like the way they go about things. So, 1-0. We should have won that game, and it's quite, in a way, it's quite refreshing coming away from a game and being so disappointed that we drew, instead of we got away with that one, or we've been hammered again. You know, the first half I thought was a great performance. All right, we didn't. I'll come back to, you know, obviously the missed chances in a sec, but first half I thought we were the better team. In fact, I thought throughout the game Wolves had their periods in the second half where they were the better team. We've just gone in national speed limit. We're going 20 miles an hour here. Wolves had their periods in the second half where they sort of took over a little bit, but on the whole, I don't know why it's so fuzzy. There we go. On the whole, I thought we were the better team. We dominated the ball. We passed the ball around really well, which is a change for us. Usually it's sort of pass sideways, pass backwards, lump forward, lose it. Shelvey, I criticised him in the Friday reflections. I criticised him for a while, saying I think his time is over in a black and white shirt. Proved me wrong against Wolves. He was excellent. You know, he fizzed the ball about now. He got round the pitch well. He looked up for it. He looked enthusiastic, which is what has been missing. Excuse me. So even Joelinton, he's going to cop a bit of criticism for his miss, but he wasn't terrible. He didn't track back a lot. He didn't help Emil Kraft a lot, but he didn't score. He had 3 chances, all in all I can think of. 2 off his left foot, which were pretty much straight at the goalkeeper. Which they were straight at the goalkeeper, but they were clean strikes. They were lovely strikes of the football. Like I said, right through the laces, nice and clean. They just happened to be right at the goalkeeper from an angle as well. But Joelinton, that was nowhere near his worst game in a black and white shirt. Nowhere near it. I didn't think he was that bad. So, the chronology of it all. Obviously, early on in the game, we're playing about a little bit in midfield. Willock and Hayden. Jonjo Shelvey starts to move on from the centre circle, pings it out to the right. He then follows his pass and whips this like almost over his shoulder, lovely sort of through over the top, come across. Miggy Almiron's read it. Miggy Almiron's rapid. Miggy Almiron is onto it. He looks offside because the Wolves defence have all stepped up, but he's timed his run to perfection. He's in on goal. He's at an angle. Could he reduce the angle slightly by coming in a bit? Maybe. Onto the post. Onto the post. Doesn't get the purchase on it. Doesn't get the correct curl on the ball. Therefore, it sort of strikes the underside of the post and comes out. ASM's running onto it. The post bamboozles him, and he just looks, oh, what a chance! What a chance! What a chance that was. Then it comes to pass that ASM is on one today. He's on one. I texted my mate Brad while we were watching the game, and I was like, ASM is up for it tonight. He's taking on players left and right. He's going for it. He's running at people. He looks confident. His head is up. He's passing the ball nicely. Then he takes on about, I don't know, he beats about 4 Wolves players, and then puts it on a plate for Joe Willock. And although Joe Willock didn't score, although Joe Willock should have scored, and I would say that is probably, after the Miggy one, that is probably the easiest chance of the game that we've missed. However, I'll just say, that's not the first time that's happened with ASM and Joe Willock. They seem to have a little bit of an understanding. And Joe Willock, like I said in the Friday Reflections, is that only midfield player who is that box-to-box, who will drive forward and make those runs into the box. However, I will say Isaac Hayden pushed forward quite a lot against Wolves. Anyway, Joe Willock takes it. He's even got time to take a nice touch, gets it out of his feet, and then it's a good save by the goalkeeper, but he should have buried that. He should have smashed that in the corner. Anyway, ASM. So I thought, after those 2 chances, I didn't start thinking we need to put one of these away here, because I thought, it's still 20 odd minutes in. ASM then beats another few players, takes a shot, it goes, flies like a wounded duck. It was never going to trouble the goalkeeper. But it's positive signs. Positive signs. Then you've got the other chances that stand out. Let's have a think. Well, you have the 2 Joe Linton ones on his left foot, which, on his left foot from that angle, almost just from a standing start, that I don't really count them as chances, half chances at best. Then you have injuries again, and I've had a look at it. 6 first team players have been injured in our last 2 home games. Our last 2 home games. And that is, take Fabian Schär out of the equation, because he just had to go off. He wasn't subbed off. That's 5 substitutions that you take away from Steve Bruce, that he doesn't have the freedom for tactics. He just has to make those substitutions. So obviously we had Callum Wilson, Fabian Schär and Manquillo against Southampton. Now it's struck again. Miggy Almiron, probably you'd have to say our form player of the last month. Let's say the last month. Miggy Almiron goes down after half an hour. He doesn't look comfortable. He's lay on the floor on his back. You think, oh my god. Gets up, carries on playing. Second half starts. Ryan Fraser's on the pitch, so obviously he's injured. I don't know the details yet. Then ASM goes down. ASM and Fraser are only on the pitch for a matter of minutes. But anyway, before ASM goes down, I think it's a corner, comes out to ASM. He does some wonderful trickery on the edge of the box, in a wide left position, elusive. Jinks back, beats 2 or 3 people, then jinks back again, puts a lovely floated ball into the box. The Wolves centre back gets his head to it, out it comes to Ryan Fraser. One touch, bang, lovely cross, pinpoint. Jamal Lascelles, he can't miss. And we know that Jamal Lascelles is not a goal scoring centre back prolifically, like you'd say a John Stones is at the minute, or like a Roberto Carlos, or probably more relevant for his position, someone like Sergio Ramos. But we know that Jamal Lascelles, if you give him a chance of a decent header, he's more than capable. Buries it. Boom. What a goal. A few minutes later, ASM gets down. He gets up. He's hobbling. I wouldn't say he could hardly walk. He's hobbling. Holding his groin. You think, oh, fucking hell. I since heard rumours that it's not as bad as first thought. However, I'm waiting today to hear more reaction. Because let's be honest, if Miggy and ASM are down, you've taken out our 3 best attackers, our 3 best goal threats in Wilson, Miggy and ASM, and this is a crucial run of games we've got coming up. I believe we've got West Brom next, then Villa, then Brighton. So there's some confusion. Matt Ritchie comes on for Emil Kraft, another injury. We now don't have a fit right back at the club, which means that Hayden's going to get pushed back into right back, or God forbid, but I can see it's a possibility, we might go 5 at the back against Brom and play Jacob Murphy right wing back, because he can play right wing back, but he can play right back. Anyway, some confusion over who should be where. Matt Ritchie goes on. I don't know what the fuck's gone on, to be honest. It's a little bit all up in the air. Something to do with instructions. Anyway, no one's fucking picked up Ruben Neves, a player of that quality. You know he's going to get a decent header. However, Jamal Lewis, doesn't make any attempt to block the cross. And I've noticed this. I think he's improving. He's improving steadily in the last few weeks. But he tracks, but he never attempts to get a block in or throw a tackle in. He just tracks the guy and gets tight, but he never tries to stop the cross, which obviously cost us, because it was a good ball into the box by Neto, I believe. And then next thing you know, Ruben Neves, like I said, a player of that quality, gets on target. However, Dubravka, who's playing week in, week out, saves that. And arguably, Carl Darlow at the moment saves that. I was one for having Dubravka back in, because I believe that he's a more experienced goalkeeper. You know, he's 31, and Darlow's 30. There's no massive age gap, but in terms of Premier League games, Dubravka more experienced in Premier League games. You know, he's like I said, he's played for longer in the Premier League. He's a better goalkeeper. If you put both of them in there on their best day, Dubravka is a better goalkeeper than Darlow, and I really rate Darlow. And I will be if we somehow stay up this season, I will be eternally grateful to Carl Darlow, because if it wasn't for him, if we were playing Mark Gillespie for the majority of the season, we'd be well adrift. We'd be in Sheffield United territory right now, and that might be a bit dramatic, but that's what I truly believe. However, Dubravka should do better. He should do better with that, totally. It's a weak wrist. He gets down to it well. It's not the reaction, it's just weak wristed. But we then bring on Fraser came on for Miggy at half time. Jacob Murphy then came on for Alan Maximan, and obviously Matt Ritchie is on for Emil Kraft. So Hayden is shifted out to right back, which I can see him playing there against Brom. I'll touch on that in a sec. When Jacob Murphy came on, I thought, on one hand, I was quite pleased, because I rate Jacob Murphy, and I think he could step up in a big way next week. He's capable of a great cross, like we saw against West Brom back in December. You know, the cross for Dwight Gale's goal was delicious. It was superb. It was perfect. He's fast. He's got the pace. He's shown that he can score the odd goal. If you wind back the clock against City, I believe in the cup. Was it in the cup? He went on and fucking chipped it over the goalkeeper, no bother. You know, he scored against Morecambe with his left foot. I know Morecambe, but you know, he's capable of that bit of quality, and he's a Newcastle fan. He's quick. He's got the pace. But the thing that I like about him the most is he seems, although sometimes when he dwells on the ball too much, when he's stationary and he should just give it and then go, he dwells on the ball, then he runs over with ideas. But when he's in full flow, when he's confident, That is it. His confidence is what really impresses me. His lack of fear, his fearlessness. He will try something. You know, he'll get his head up. He'll try. He's always got his head up in the box. Excuse me. He'll run at a few people. He'll try that shot from 25 yards. When, okay, sometimes you should pass it, but in a season where, apart from Callum Wilson and Miggy recently, our attackers haven't taken responsibility. No one's really grabbed the game by the, by the scruff of the neck and gone on and really sort of put their stamp on the game. Then he is a welcome distraction. I've just got to pause this because there's something going on here. Anyway, sorry about that. Yeah, so Jakey Murphy, like I said, I love his fearlessness. He'll try something. He'll take responsibility. He'll show for the ball. He'll ask for the ball. He'll put himself in these positions, and he has that drive. His quality does need to improve, but I think with a run of game, like he had a run of games, I think it was just before Christmas, where he looked capable. He looked like he was improving. He looked happier. He's been shunted out the team recently with this new system, which obviously I don't think suits certain players. The new system, I don't think it suits Dwight Gale. That's probably why we're persisting with playing effectively. I don't want to say playing with 10 men instead of 11 because of Gillington, but it is what it is. We're playing with a non-striker, whereas we have two proper strikers on the bench in Carroll and Gale. I'm not saying either of them are Premier League quality anymore, but they are proper strikers, and let's be honest, they've got more chance of scoring a goal than Joelinton. Speaking of which, I hate getting on Joelinton's back because I think he's got so much of it in the past, but it is what it is. Talking to Jakey Murphy, he picks the ball up. What a run. What a run. On the sort of central right position. Pass 1, pass 2, pass 3 into the box. I thought, just as he passes it to Gillington, I was going, shoot, Jakey Murphy, shoot. I thought he was going to smash that with his left foot, and in hindsight, that's what he should have done. But he lays it off to Gillington. Gillington, if he wants, has got time to take a quick touch, but he takes it first time, which is probably the right thing to do. And they block it on the line. You can't have a go at him too much because it's a wonderful block on the line, and the guy who blocks it, the Wolves defender, doesn't know anything about it. He's just running open to get in the way. But Gillington, even so, it wasn't anywhere near the corner. It beat the goalkeeper, but it wasn't anywhere near the corner, and Gillington should have tucked that away in the corner. There you go. So I've heard online a lot of people sort of state, Dubravka is the irony. Everyone who wanted Dubravka back in, hang your heads in shame. He's cost us the game. Yes, he should have saved that. I'm not disputing it, but we've missed. It's the top of my head. I'm not going to include either of Joelinton's two shots with his left foot. Oh, fucking red light. Because let's be honest, that is they were pot shots. However, I should have gone then. However, you got the Miggy shot against the post. The fucking let's lost my train of thought then. Miggy shot off the post, Joe Willock's chance, and Joelinton's chance towards the end of the game. Oh, Jesus. And the thing that's worrying is, although, like I said, I really rate Wolves, it was clear they were having an off day. And we've got to, fucking Pelican, we've got to take our chances against these teams, because I said in the Friday reflections, it'd be nice if we played a team who's having an off day, because we have, you could say, so many off days against other teams, or that's just our level. But we always come up against teams in form. Brighton, when they smashed us, were arguably they haven't played that well since. Man United recaptured their form against us. And I could list a few others. West Ham was probably the last one where we played a team who was out of form. But that was the first day of the season, which is a bit of a lottery. So yeah. But going back to what I said earlier about Wolves and the 4 games, the fixtures. If you said to me, right, you've got Wolves coming up, you've got Brom coming up, you've got Villa coming up, and then cap it all off, you've got Brighton. These next 4 games are crucial. I would say yes, they are. They are absolutely crucial. Our season, our fate come end of the season will not be defined by that awful run of Liverpool, Arsenal, Leicester City. It will be defined by these 4 games and what sort of position we put ourselves in come playing Sheffield and Fulham on the last day of the season. So, if you said to me, right, those 4 games coming up, you're going to draw against Wolves, I'd think brilliant. This is like a little mini season now. These 4 games are absolutely massive. Look at it as like your Champions League group, if you will, but with 5 teams instead of 4. Wolves, although it's home, that sort of takes away. I'd say Wolves and Villa are the hardest games. In terms of quality, okay, Brom are fighting for their lives, and they got a great result against Brighton. Somewhat controversial with that free kick. I think that's a load of bollocks, to be honest. Why the referee's changed his mind, he's bottled it. It should have been 1-1. However, Brighton fans moaning about that. Come on, boys, you had 2 penalties. How often do you get 2 fucking penalties in a game? You have more than enough chance to win that fucking game, or at least get a draw. So I've got no sympathy for Brighton whatsoever with that. But Wolves and Villa are the better. In terms of quality, Wolves and Villa are the better teams there. So if you think about it, if we can draw with Wolves, knowing we should have won that game, hopefully the boys can take that sort of performance, that sort of form, that sort of belief in thinking we should have beat, a team that's way up, not way up the table, but a team that, Wolves were in the Europa League last year. We should have beaten them. We were the better team. We deserve to win. That's the thing. Some of the games this season we have won, we haven't deserved to win. Much like last season when you look at Man U, Chelsea, etc. So if we can carry that sort of belief and form into the West Brom game, beat West Brom, then against Villa, I think Villa are just a team that have got our number at the minute. I think so. Let's just play conservative. Let's say we've drawn against Wolves, we beat Brom, we lose against Villa, and we draw against Brighton. Let's just take that. That's 5 points, I believe. Yeah, that's 5 points. That would take us up to 30. If we beat Brighton, 32. If we draw with Villa, 33. So these next 4 games, I believe we're capable. I think we'll get something from Brighton. I really do at the minute. I just don't think their luck's in. They've got some hard games coming up as well. But the thing is it all hinges on this West Brom game. So if we don't beat West Brom, I think heads drop massively. Also depends on the injuries as well. If ASM and Mickey are out long term, Jesus, we're right up against it. But I will say it's time for Ryan Fraser in particular to step up. I know he got the assist against Wolves, but it might be a 4-4-2 with Fraser on one wing and Murphy on the other, but that's for another video. So all in all, a wrap up, good performance, didn't take our chances, it cost us. Keep playing like that, have someone on the pitch and finish those chances, i.e. Dwight Gale, and I think we'll get something against West Brom. Must win. See you Friday.